If you've ever thought about self-publishing on Amazon, or maybe you even tried it a few years back and sort of gave up, the sources we dug into this week make a really strong case.
A very strong case.
They're claiming that 2026 isn't just a good time to jump into Amazon KDP. It might actually be the best year ever to get started.
Right.
So our mission today is to, cut through all the noise and really distill the most important strategies. And these are all driven by three massive shifts that we saw happen in 2025.
Exactly. And we're not here to give you like a basic tutorial. We're focusing on the strategic leverage points. The core takeaway from all this research is that technology has just completely wiped out the old hurdles that used to block new authors.
The big, heavy ones.
Yeah. So success now is, it's overwhelmingly about quality execution and picking a smart niche. It's not about how much money you have to start.
Okay, so let's unpack that. We're going to get into why this has created this truly global, high-leverage business model, and we have some pretty astonishing author payout numbers to back it all up. So let's start with that first pillar, the first big strategic shift. The sources are, they're unanimous on this one. Capital is no longer a prerequisite for success.
Yeah, that's the headline.
They are basically saying that in 2025, it costs $0, literally zero, to start making money on Kindle Direct Publishing.
And what's so fascinating here is just how big of a shift this is. You have to rewind like 5 or 10 years to really get it.
Right.
When the source speaker we looked at started around 2016, you absolutely needed capital. You needed a real budget for professional editing, which was, non-negotiable for quality.
Sure, and a designer.
And a professional designer, even for nonfiction. They estimate that to start a viable business back then, you were looking at hundreds, maybe even thousands of dollars. It was a gate, pure and simple.
An investment gate. And now?
Now the technology has just completely flipped that equation.
Yeah.
The reality today is you can produce a manuscript using AI tools. You can handle all the formatting. You can even create a decent-looking cover, all with free or super low-cost subscription tools.
So you can literally publish a book that makes thousands of dollars without spending a single dime on outside help.
Which completely democratizes the whole thing.
Yeah.
For anyone, anywhere.
Okay, so this is where the advice gets really specific, right? They introduced what they call the $50 or less strategy.
Yeah, and this is smart because they're really talking to two very different groups of people around the world.
So let's break that down. If you're listening from a Western country, say the US, UK, Australia, where $50 isn't a huge amount of money.
Right.
The strategic advice is super focused. Use that $50 only to pay for a professional custom cover.
And that's because while AI is great for writing, that visual thumbnail on the Amazon store page is the single most important piece of marketing you have. You just can't compromise on it.
A pro cover just massively improves your click-through rate, and for $50, that's an unbeatable ROI.
Exactly. But then they acknowledge the global reality.
Right.
For listeners in, say, developing nations, where $50 might be a big chunk of a monthly salary, the strategy changes. They advise that you can do everything for free. That includes taking the time to learn basic cover design yourself with free software. And the proof is right there in the data.
You're talking about the highest grossing books in the source material.
Yeah, the publisher's cost for those was literally $0, other than their $20 a month ChatGPT subscription. It just proves that the financial barrier is now truly zero across the entire world.
That equality, though, that has to create a new problem, right? The competition is now global. It's based on effort and time, not who has the most money.
It does. The market gets saturated with content.
And that leads us straight to the second critical strategy from the sources. Quality is the ultimate ad.
This one is so important because it pushes back against a really old, ingrained belief that you need paid ads and a ton of reviews to make a book successful.
So the idea is you need to have a, quote, kick-ass product first.
Yes, first and foremost. If you do your homework, and that means really nailing your customer niche research, making sure your book solves a problem or fills a need,
and is just well-written and well-structured,
then sales will start happening organically. Amazon's own algorithm will see that quality and give you visibility.
So then what's the point of ads and reviews?
They're not the engine starter. They're the jet fuel. They're there to blow up what's already working. If your book isn't good, spending on ads just makes you fail faster. The strategy has to be product first.
Okay, but I have to ask, if AI makes creation so cheap, isn't the market just flooded with low-quality junk? How does quality even get seen?
That's a great question. And the source's answer is really interesting. They say quality has actually become an even better differentiator because of all the noise.
How so?
Because most people using AI just stop at good enough. The strategic publisher, though, they use AI as a tool, like an efficiency layer, not as a replacement for real expertise.
So AI does the grunt work.
Exactly. It helps with research outlines, metadata, formatting, rough drafts. But you still need that human touch, that expertise, to make sure the final product really connects with that niche audience.
That makes a ton of sense. And the market is definitely big enough to reward that quality. We saw some huge data points on this.
Yeah, the numbers are wild.
In January of 2025 alone, Kindle Unlimited authors earned $58 million.
And that number is so critical to understand because KDP has two main ways authors get paid, right?
Yeah.
Direct sales and then Kindle Unlimited, or KU.
Okay.
That $58 million figure, that is only the KU fund. It's what they pay authors based on how many pages subscribers read.
So that doesn't even count people buying the ebook outright, or paperbacks, or hardcover.
Or audiobooks, nope. That $58 million shows a huge, active, hungry market that rewards engagement. And that's before you even look at half the other revenue streams.
So you have this super easy entry combined with a massive active market. And that leads directly into the third strategic finding, the global income arbitrage.
This is the real game changer. As we said, AI makes the starting line equal for everyone, but the economic impact of the money you earn is, well, it's dramatically different depending on where you live.
Let's get specific. Let's talk about what just $1,000 a month means. The sources use the example of the average monthly salary in India, which is around 150 US dollars.
Right, versus the U.S., where it's, what, maybe $4,000 on average?
So let's say we have two publishers. One's American, one is, say, from Nigeria. They both follow the strategy. They both hit $1,000 a month, which is a very realistic goal. Whose life actually changes?
Well, for the person in the developed country, $1,000 a month is great. It's helpful. It takes a little edge off, as the source put it. Maybe it's a car payment.
But it's not transformative.
No. But for the publisher in a country where American dollars have huge purchasing power, that $1,000 is genuinely life-altering income. It's a massive leap in economic status, in security, in opportunity.
You don't need to be a six-figure-a-month superstar for this to matter. A consistent four-figure monthly income can be the foundation for real change.
And that's why the strategic recommendation is so clear. If you live in a country where the US dollar goes really far, they say KDP self-publishing is basically the only side hustle you should be looking at.
Because the low entry cost and the currency difference means you could change your financial situation in just 1 or 2 months if you hit the right niche.
Yeah. But while that lower income level is so transformative, the ceiling for earnings is also getting way, way higher.
The market's maturing. Our source said that more publishers are hitting $100,000 a month now than at any point in the last 9 years. The speed you can scale at has just accelerated.
We saw hard evidence of that. There was one specific publisher who got a payout of $158,000 from their KDP account in December.
And yeah, December is a big holiday month, so you can discount it a bit, but still.
Still, that strongly suggests a consistent six-figure-a-month operation. Earning that much in a single month was almost unheard of just a few years ago. It shows the massive potential of the platform.
What's also really interesting is how the business model itself is evolving at the high end. It's not just about selling the book anymore.
No, many of the top publishers are now using their books as lead magnets.
So for anyone who doesn't know that term, a lead magnet is basically using the book, a low-cost, high-value item, to get a customer's contact info.
Right. It's the first step in a funnel. You guide the reader to something bigger, a higher ticket program. The book proves you know what you're talking about.
So instead of just making like $5 on an ebook sale,
the publisher uses that book to drive traffic to a $500 course or a $1,000 coaching program. The book becomes the start of a much bigger, more diverse business.
And that's how you get to those really high six-figure monthly numbers.
Right. And this whole shift, the new ease of creation with AI, is actually what brought the source speaker back into teaching about this stuff. He'd quit, but then he saw how easy and profitable it had become and was, like, blown away.
He actually shared the details of his own newest, highest-grossing books.
As a proof of concept, yeah.
And the cost to produce them. Zero. Absolutely nothing, besides that low monthly AI subscription. He did everything himself, from the research to the final cover.
Which just proves the point again. The cost now is your time and your effort, not your money. One of those books, he said he finished it, published it in a single week.
Wow.
That's why the focus is on execution. The capital requirement is gone.
The source even built their own business model around this. They said they're committed to putting out the absolute best, highest quality, free information online.
So that you, the listener, can make real money first. They want you to get results and see that it works just from the free stuff.
And that's a smart strategy for their business, right?
Oh, totally. If you can make $5,000 or $10,000 a month using their free advice, then paying for a high-end coaching program to help you scale to $30,000 or $60,000 a month becomes a no-brainer.
You already have the cash, the proof it works, and you trust them.
It guarantees their clients are already successful and just ready to grow.
So, to wrap this all up, what does this mean for you listening right now? We've covered the three big strategic pillars that make 2026 such a huge opportunity.
Right.
First, the zero entry cost, all driven by AI. Second, the absolute rule that content quality is what drives your organic sales. And third, this massive, life-changing global opportunity from currency arbitrage.
And this specific moment in time, where AI has crushed the friction of creating, where the market size is proven by these huge KU payouts and the financial barrier is just gone, it's strategically unprecedented in the history of KDP. The advantage really goes to people who move fast and execute well.
The path is clearer than ever. But here's the final provocative thought we want to leave you with. The core strategy the highest earners are using is treating the book as a lead magnet. So if a high-quality, zero-cost book can be the foundation for a much bigger business, what expertise do you already have? That unique knowledge you probably take for granted. Could you put that into a book today and use it as the ultimate lead magnet for a business you haven't even started yet?